the Noble Eightfold Path was worked out with a view to taking ourselves away from earthly problems and giving us a spiritual leadership in our lives. But at the same time, it shows us the various ways which are imperative, which we must follow in every aspect of our daily conduct. Whatever your position in society, whether you be a chimney sweep or the emperor, you have to follow the Noble Eightfold Path in all you do, and a force your right must you do so if you are a judge. Likewise, Christianity. If you look at the teachings of Jesus Christ, there is so much relevant to lawyers that you would be amazed at their relevance at this point of time. For example, Christ says that if you are a lawyer, you use your special knowledge and position not to advance yourself. It is your duty to use it to be brothers of the people you must serve. So the legal profession and the judiciary are not a path to self-advancement. They are a path to service to the public. Christ also says that lawyers and judges like to polish the outside of the cup of justice, but the inside is full of injustice. No, you must not do that. You must look to the inside of what you are doing, the real work you are doing. Likewise, Christ says that you swallow the fly, but you let the camel go free. That happens very often in legal systems, where the rich have an advantage over the poor, and in consequence, the poor litigant very often gives up the struggle because he has no doesn't have the ability to continue. Like that, there are so many things that Christ says. Lawyers and judges have the key to the house of knowledge, but they keep the key to themselves and don't give it to others. They must give it to others. And also, that you must not think of the letter of the law, but the principles behind the law, the principles of justice and equity. So there's so much in Jesus' teachings, and I would recommend Matthew chapter 23 contains much of this, and all lawyers should read Matthew chapter 23 to see what Jesus said of the legal profession. Likewise, Hinduism has got an enormous literature on justice going back thousands of years, and there is, for example, the work of the laws of Manu, which tell you in detail the ways in which a judge should behave. His dignity on the bench, that he must be a person learned in the law, he must be truthful, he must be courteous, and all the details that we have, that we consider so important today, are detailed in the Hindu law books. And for example, the Kautilya of Arthashastra, Kautilya's book of the Arthashastra was a monumental treatise on the duties of kings. And it said that the king is the fountain of justice, and the judges operate on behalf of the king, and they must carry forward all these principles of justice. Likewise, in Islam, there is a long tradition of justice and how the judge must make no distinction between people. There is a lovely story in the Islamic books of a caliph who had lent, the king who had lent a suit of armor to a subject. The subject was not returning it. The king wanted it back. Rather than send his officers to the man's house and seize the armor, he filed an action in a court of law. And then, on the day of the trial, the king went in like an ordinary litigant. And seeing the king arrive, the judge rose deferentially in his seat. And the king then said, "This man is not fit to be a judge, because he does not realize that the sovereign and the subject are both absolutely equal in a court of law." So like that, there are so many things in Islam about the duty of judges, quotations from the Holy Quran, about justice being the divine attribute, and judges are people who carry this out. The sovereign is the fountain of justice. The judges do it on behalf of the sovereign. There's so much illumination we can gather from all these religious works, and we in Sri Lanka have had these four religions side by side. Let us distill the essence of these religions and translate it into our judicial life. So let there be complete integrity of the bench. The bench is not a road to self-advancement. The bench is not a road, is not nothing that can be influenced by politics. The bench is totally independent. It stands on its own on the foundation of justice and equity. And there is nothing that can alter the righteousness that the judge must follow, the principle of righteousness. So all of this is there in our traditions, and there is a huge inheritance which we have, which we must use. And I would also urge that legal education and even school education should give all our young people some understanding of this enormous wealth of tradition on justice-related matters, which can then inure to the benefit of the people of our country. Justice is not a road to self-advancement. The law is not a road to self-advancement. Judicial office is not a road to self-advancement. All this knowledge is there for the benefit of the public. And we, the lawyers, are custodians of this knowledge. It is our obligation to use it for the benefit of the people. And there is a glorious future for the legal profession and the judiciary in Sri Lanka if we take note of these traditions of our country. Let us try to translate this into practice and make our legal profession and our judiciary an example to the region. This was so at one stage, it can be so, and it is the duty of each and every one of us and every member of the legal profession to do whatever he or she can to advance this knowledge of righteousness and of correct conduct and of respect for law and justice. That way, let law and justice shine like a beacon light in this country to guide all our people. It is possible, we can achieve it, and it is the duty of each and every one of us to do all we can to make it a reality.